Welcome back to Assisted Living Investing. I am your guide to making millions of dollars in the assisted living world. My name is Brett Chotkevys. My wife and I own Platinum Resort in Georgetown, Texas, and we own a real estate development company that builds and operates assisted living mansions around the country by partnering with people like you. Today, I want to share how you can become a millionaire in 2025. How can we kick off this year and hit our multi-million-dollar dreams? Right? Everyone starts with nothing. I started there and I had these aspirations. How do I get out of the rat race? I was trying to become a firefighter, trying to get a job with pensions. I was waiting tables at night, same with my wife. And we had big goals and we hated our situation in life. And we knew there had to be something more than that, right? So first we got into, the flipping game and the wholesaling game, and we were doing that for years. And I made good money in that space. I made several $100,000 a year, but I never really became a multimillionaire. I might have gotten pretty close, but it's kind of arguably. I had a lot of different rental properties, but they were all kind of small deals. There was nothing that was like, hey, here is this huge home run deal that clearly crosses this multi-million-dollar finish line, right? I didn't have any of those. I was buying lots of little houses for 150 grand to 300 grand, stuff like that, and they barely cash flowed. I would have dozens of rental properties and at the end of the day, make barely anything, right? I was working so hard to hit what I thought would get me financial freedom, but it wasn't getting me there very quickly at all. I can probably get there, right, in 5, 10 years, something like that, but it was so much work. And so let me share the lessons that I've learned going through this school of hard knocks, fumbling through several different niches and ending up in the assisted living mansion space. Because this is the one that I think, here's what you should do. And it's not necessarily for everyone, and I'll unpack what that looks like. But if you have the heart for this, if you have the experience and the desire to help people and make a difference and do a huge, massive, life-changing deal, this is what you should do, right? So let me unpack this for you today because I used this niche, this opportunity to become a multimillionaire, and I had a hard time doing it in the flipping game and the rental property game. So after flipping hundreds of houses, buying lots and lots of rental properties, some for as cheap as like $3,500 up into, the $600,000-$700,000 range, I was looking for how do I do one deal a year that will make $1 million net profit each, right? That was really my goal. How do I do this? How do I do less for more? And I was looking at all sorts of different things, but ultimately this is what I want to share with you today. This is the one and done kind of deal, right? You could literally do one, become a multimillionaire, and then chill. Or you can do one, become the multimillionaire, stabilize your business a couple years later, rinse and repeat, do number 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. That's what I have done. And now we are going and showing people around the country how to rinse and repeat this model and helping lots of people become multimillionaires their first time. So if you hear this and you think, oh, you know what, Brett, I've heard about this stuff before, this, residential assisted living, you buy a house, you convert the garage. That's not what I'm talking about. That's garbage. None of that stuff works. Those are fake numbers that people are blowing smoke up your butt, right? Let me talk to you about this model here, the assisted living mansion. So this is what it looks like. We run luxury end-of-life care for 16 grandmas and grandpas, and we build new construction, about 10,000 square feet, 16 private rooms, private bath. We have this huge vaulted great room. We have a chef, we have a salon, we have all of the care that you could get at a big smelly facility that you can't get in a residential RAL. We have all of those kind of care and services in our mansions, and because of that, we charge a premium. Usually I see $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 a month for what it looks like for end-of-life care. And that may seem like really, really expensive to you. It's actually not. When you are talking about what this niche is, the last couple years of life before you pass away, when you have full, ADLs to do and or memory care, $8,000 a month is kind of a middle of the road plus across the country. There's plenty of cities that are, $10,000+ a month. And even some of the lower kind of rural cities are in that like $7,000 to $8,000 a month kind of range. So let me share what the numbers look like at $8,000 a month. We are higher than that, but at $8,000 a month times 16 beds, that's $128,000 a month of income, right? That's our top line income. Then from there, staffing. Staffing's the majority of it. It's about $38,000 a month for staffing. That's 2 caregivers 24/7 at $18 an hour. Then there's a chef at $20 an hour, 40 hours a week. Then I have a manager at $65,000, $70,000 a year, right? All of that's in there, plus payroll tax, about $38,000 a month. So 128 minus the 38 minus about $18,000 a month in operating expenses, all sorts of different stuff from utilities to food to uniforms to marketing dollars, all that stuff's in that 18 grand. Okay, then minus about 20,000. So that's at current today's rates for building a multi-million dollar mansion, right? You're gonna build 10,000 square foot mansion. It's gonna cost a lot of money. It's gonna be about 20 grand a month PITI, right? So all of those, 128 minus those numbers, get you about $52,000 a month in net profit, in cash flow. Now it's at 100% occupancy. You should be, doing well and having mostly 100% occupancy most times, but nonetheless, okay, let's say you knock it down from, 128 to 120. So it's 52 minus that extra 8. What is that, like 46 grand or something like that? You're gonna be really, really in a good spot, right? It's consistent that you can make 500 grand a year in this niche doing this model, right? 500 grand a year, that's about 41,000 and change a month, right? It is very, very doable and consistent. I do it, a lot of our partners do it. It is a life-changing model, right? There's plenty of money in there for you to bring on investor partners, partner with someone, do a JV deal, right? And we'll talk about what that looks like in a minute here. But this kind of numbers right here, this is that big one and done kind of deal, right? Make multiple millions on the front side in equity in the real estate, make hundreds of thousands of dollars every year on the actual business side. So I would say that there's really kind of two deals here, right? You have the real estate deal and you have the operations company deal. If you're gonna go and you're gonna build something like we do, right? You're gonna build something at what it costs to build, not what it's going to be worth. And when you go and you build something, new construction, you can build at less than what future value is going to be. So for us, we're building around 2.5 million and they're worth more than 5 million, right? So there's 50% margin in there. We're literally building $2+ million of equity on day one. Once we have our stabilized product, right? The building's there. Now you're a multimillionaire. This is all you have to do. Follow the plan, go through the steps, build your mansion. You will now have multiple millions of dollars in equity. Now you become a multimillionaire, right? That's how we're gonna get it done this year. Then in addition to that, you have your business opportunity. Really, that's what this is. This is a business opportunity that comes with real estate. So you're gonna run your business. You are going to hire your team, hire someone with experience. Laura and myself, we had no experience when we got into this, literally zero, right? I was a house flipper. And then we're going like, let's start an assisted living and do memory care. We had no idea what that even meant, but we just did it, right? We hired someone with a lot of experience and we fumbled our way through it, becoming experts along the way. So you can hire somebody, right? Or you can partner with us. You can fill in the gaps of where you're missing your experience. You have this business opportunity. This is where a lot of people are getting stuck. They're trying to do some kind of deal, right? Like an apartment deal, right? I want to have, 500 units and I can have 7 or 12% equity in all of these deals, but you still have barely any cash flow. You're still working your job and you have 500 doors. That is so stupid. Let me show you how you can build one mansion. It's 16 grandmas and you quit your job, right? You make 300-400 grand a year in income. That's what really you want, right? You want that consistent, steady income because you're gonna have the retirement play later. In 5 or 10 years, you're gonna exit the deal, you're gonna sell the mansion and the business. Not only are you getting that multiple millions out, you're actually adding an extra probably about $1 million in the value of the business. So now you're gonna exit, you're gonna have your $3+ million worth of equity in the real estate and the business that you're gonna 1031 into some other kind of deal. But this is the awesome opportunity here, right? Where you can build the systems, hire the team, get a great manager in there, and then you start pulling back your time. Laura and myself, about a year after opening, really was able to scale back. We had solid team. We were working probably 4 hours a week, maybe her a little bit more. I was probably working less. But now, right, you fast forward, it's been several years and we're working like barely anything. We just go to our weekly manager meeting. We pop in to visit the grandmas when things are going fun and like we're having activity time, right? Like that is the place where we are. This is where I'm able to focus all of my time building mansions across the country because we can create a systematized, stable business. And it's really because of the niche. It's because of the numbers. If you can start with 128,000 of top line income, you have plenty of numbers in order to hire the best people. We're paying more than everyone else. You can hire a second manager. We have 2 full-time managers per mansion. I don't need 2 full-time managers. There's not that much work to do, but it insulates me from the drama, from the call-outs, from all of these kind of things. We just went through Christmas, right? I had no calls. I was on the other side of the country with Laura and my family. No issues, right? Because we have multiple people handling the drama. I don't know if there was drama. I would bet there was because there's always drama, right? That's business. You can insulate yourself with this kind of stuff. So this kind of deal, you can build your mansion, you can get it set up, systematized, hire and train great people. And then about year 2 or so, then you're thinking to yourself, you know what? Do I chill? Do I relax? Do I spend more time with my kids? Or do I go and scale, right? You can go and rinse and repeat and build multiple of these mansions. And the economy of scale when you start getting into, having a couple of these, right? Or if you're building a neighborhood like we are, we have 8 acres building a neighborhood with 64 beds all there, 4 mansions. There's a huge economy of scale that you can share. And the income is just so overwhelming. It's a ton of capital that you're able to do here. Or the other option is you just build these and you rent them. You may say, Brett, that sounds awesome, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to have an operations company. I want to relax. I want to stay in my job. I want to, maybe I want to build one and then rent it after that, right? You can do that. You can rent these things to big national operations companies. They don't really rent the little dinky RELs. But if you start building a luxury mansion, they're gonna come in. The income is high enough for them to be able to come and rent these things. So you can do this in any market, literally in every single state, in pretty much any area. You just need to be in a medium plus affluency area, right? You don't have to be in like Newport Beach, California, but you might not wanna be in like Podunk, Mississippi. So if you are in a medium plus to average kind of area or within 15 minutes of those kind of areas where if there's a Whole Foods, those are your people, right? You want to be over in that area. You just need to be 15 minutes from a Whole Foods. Those kind of areas where you have people who want to buy a Range Rover instead of a RAV4. Those are your people. Be around those people. There are areas of town in pretty much every city across the country where there's those kind of people that live together. That's where you want to go build your mansion, right? Or at least near them within 10-15 minutes. And we're not talking about residential assisted living. You're going to buy residential zoned land, right? Because the city's gonna look at you and be like, hey bro, you can't do that crap, right? Like you can do 4 or 6 beds, that's what residential is for. But anything more than that, now you're commercial, right? Now you're business use. So we're going in and we're saying, here we're gonna follow the rules. We're gonna jump through the hoops. We are gonna go, I've built on multifamily land and on agriculture land that I had rezoned for commercial. There's lots of different options, whether it's commercial or multifamily or mixed use or a bunch of different options that you could say, hey, you know what, city, I want to do this. I want to build this mansion. And they're going to say, okay, well, you know what, you probably can't do it on this residential R1 zone land, but here, these 3-4 options, you can look for land like that or go through a special use permit and move kind of land like this to be able to do it. There is areas in every single city. Some are super expensive and some are not. Right? But you can do this. The same with the licensure. People say, oh, you know what? You can't do that kind of stuff. My state stops me at 8 beds. That is such horse crap. Every single state, you can do 64 beds, right? If you can do a 64 bed assisted living, there is a certain license type for that. It may be different than the 6 or 8 bed license type. Just do the big one. This is what we're talking about, doing a big life-changing deal, not some little dinky RAL. Don't do the crap. You're gonna be living in crap. Do the big deal if you want to be a multimillionaire. So there is zoning for that. There is licensure for that. The next thing's the capital. I put none of my own money into this. You can use investor funds, right? And I would say there's kind of 2 ways to go. You could build these and you could rent them, right? So in that perspective, you may go find a fund, you may do a syndication, you may do a JV deal and bring a few people together to kind of put these numbers together, and you could do it like that. For myself, I did SBA. If you want to go and do both sides of the deal, the real estate and the operations company, SBA 7A is by far hands down the best way to go. You do not have to bring in $1 million, right? It's just a couple hundred grand. The SBA can fund 90% of the entire deal, meaning all of the construction, all of the furniture, all of the reserve amount, all of the working capital, they'll fund 90% of that, right? So you just need to come up with a few hundred grand. And again, I brought on an investor partner for that. You can do that as well. You have to be willing to do the work, because I can tell you it is for sure probably 5 times harder than the dinky little RAL, or it's definitely harder than getting your first, 8-unit apartment building or something like that. It is a lot of work. But this is it. This is the one and done deal, right? You want to be a multimillionaire this year? This is the path. I think this is the best opportunity in the market currently, and it will be for the next probably 20 years. Apartments, there's a zillion people trying to do it. Interest rates are through the roof. Rents are not high enough. It doesn't make any sense. There's no flip deals out there anymore. What, you're going to, invest in crypto? Like, who knows what's going to happen there? It's going to go skyrocket and then it's going to tank again. This is the consistent play. It's the long play. It's the safe play. It's hard, but it's a safe play because you have the very front of the baby boomers coming in for the next 20 plus years. We are just getting started. And what are their options? They have the options of the big smelly facilities, those places that you walk in, you're like, oh my God, this is literally death. I got to get out of here. Or they have the dinky little RALs, right? They have the shared room and it's ghetto as crap. And they're literally like serving top ramen and milk and Oreos for dinner, right? Like that kind of crap. I walk through and I'm like, this is a joke, right? Like, let me show you how to build a luxury product, have amazing care, and make amazing money. This is the niche to hit those dreams this year. If you hear this and you think, oh my gosh, that sounds awesome, I need to know more about this, we have a ton of information on our website. We have 3 courses that are free that you can go through, hours and hours, breaking down step by step how you can build your own mansion, how you can run your own operations company, and how you can hit financial freedom. So good luck and dive in.